Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the new season of Delta Force. And before I get into my own thoughts and opinions, I want to talk about some of the good things that came with this season. The first thing I want to go over is controller support. There was no mention in the patch notes or any of the Delta Force social medias, but we finally have controller support in Warfare. And even better news for all the controller haters, the aim assist is incredibly weak in comparison to games like Call of Duty and Apex. Controller support isn't fully there yet, players still can't scroll through the settings, and there's a couple reports that suggest that aim assist is only working in the firing range, but when everything is working properly, it seems pretty well balanced, and in my opinion, keyboard and mouse players shouldn't have to worry at all. Next up is the new operator Nox. I personally haven't played as him yet, but after going up against him a few times in King of the Hill, I'm confident in saying that he's also pretty well balanced. The bleeding effect is going to take some getting used to, but overall, I have no complaints. While it can be a bit hard to see him in the new night modes, it's nothing like the Rose or Terminator skins in Warzone. One thing that's a bit of a waste in Warfare is his tactical ability Silent Assault. As you may or may not know, this ability is essentially dead silence from Call of Duty, while also disrupting recon abilities. In Operations, this ability would be more ideal since it's usually pretty quiet in your average match, but in Warfare, there's noise constantly, and unless you're using a super expensive headset, you could hardly notice a difference in footstep audio. But that's about all the good news I have for this season. Everything else is pretty disappointing to say the least. Like I said earlier, these are my thoughts and opinions, so I don't mean to rain on your parade if you enjoy the new content, but I'm pretty unhappy with this season. This was the global release for Delta Force, and they added one tank, 3 weapons that can't even be used yet, and 1 operator. The night mode maps aren't new in my opinion, and all of the balance changes they released could have been put into one of the previous weekly updates. We still don't have a kill cam, or at the least a kill cam that consistently works, and we still haven't heard of any news regarding the long-awaited fighter jet. The Trench Lines night mode map looks amazing in my opinion, as long as you have your brightness set to the right level. The flashlights are actually useful. I was getting completely blinded almost every time I came across anybody with one, and the boundary adjustments they made proved to be quite useful. But for some reason, the devs thought it was a good idea to give the Trench Lines night mode a 40 player cap, instead of the usual 64 players. This makes gunplay incredibly boring and kind of dreadful to be honest. And personally, I'd rather play on Ascension or Shafted simply because those maps have a normal player count. I was able to solo cap multiple points without any interference from the enemy team, and that's something I could never do on any other map since there's actually enough players to populate and defend each point. Coming back to the new weapons, I really want to know why they're locked with no unlock requirements. According to a few random Reddit posts, the only way to unlock them is to complete an event that isn't even active yet, or you have to get lucky enough to stumble upon them in Operations. I don't know if these weapons are meant to only be unlocked in Operations, or if the devs just made a mistake, but at the time of making this video, the devs have completely neglected to acknowledge this issue, and the actual unlock requirements can't be found anywhere on the Delta Force social medias or the patch notes. There are rumors that these weapons are actually Operations exclusive until the 15th of May, and that's genuinely stupid if that's true. The way I see it, the devs are trying to force Warfare players onto Operations to make the game mode look better than it actually is. And I'm not saying the Operations game mode is bad. I have no interest in extraction games, and I think Operations is pretty good. Call me crazy, but I honestly think the devs are trying to force more players onto Operations so they can use it as an excuse to put even less content in Warfare over time. The technical improvements are definitely a good thing to see, but like I said already, these improvements could have been added slowly over time in their quote, weekly updates, instead of being held back until the season dropped. And it makes me wonder what else they're holding back. Things like the fighter jet, new maps, operators, weapons, literally anything. But because of the whole live service scheme, we won't see any of it for months or even years. There are rumors that there's going to be a Warfare specific content update in July, but by then, it'll already be dead and buried. Warfare is already incredibly boring because of skill-based matchmaking, not to mention that most casual players have completely abandoned this game, and it's been in a bad state for months now. Warfare was meant to be a competitive Battlefield, but if the devs keep shooting themselves in the foot, the next Battlefield game is going to blow Delta Force out of the water, regardless of how good or bad it may be. And honestly, I hope that's what happens. The Delta Force devs keep making stupid decisions, and with them working on controller support, console, mobile, and PC, they're simply spread too thin, and eventually, they won't be able to keep up with any of the games they're competing with. To sum this video up, the new season is awful, and the devs didn't add any real content in Warfare or Operations. Anything that could have potentially improved this game has been ruined by the devs' stupid decisions, and I'm willing to bet that the devs will keep on making these stupid decisions until their player base is gone. I believe that the devs are confident in what they do, and they can make a game that their player base wants to play, but they're so confident that they just don't feel the need to listen to their players' thoughts and concerns about the game. And that's what's killing Delta Force. These devs are pretty ignorant, and their ego is going to be their downfall. I'm not the only one who thought this game could have been a worthy competitor to Battlefield or other extraction shooters, and I'm also not the only one who thinks this game has completely fallen off and lost all momentum when it comes to being a competent competitor in the FPS genre. The weekly events bring nothing of value to the game, and the whole hero shooter aspect of the game is completely pointless in Warfare, and in my opinion, it ruins the gameplay more than anything else. I had high hopes that Delta Force could have easily competed with nearly every other FPS game that's out right now, but it seems that the devs just use the Delta Force name as a cash grab to fund other mobile projects, and it's a shame to say the least. I really hope Battlefield is at least decent. The FPS genre already has one foot in the grave, and if the next Battlefield release is as bad or worse than 2042 or other FPS games, then the genre is done for. Like I said in a previous video, live service is single-handedly killing the genre, and we as consumers need to do what we can before it's too late. But that's all I really have to say regarding the new season of Delta Force. If you have thoughts of your own, then drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the new season. I've been streaming the game on the weekends, mostly on Fridays, so come drop by if you want to talk about the new season or anything else regarding Delta Force. If you enjoy the content, and you want to see some weapon builds or other videos like this, then consider subscribing. It's always nice to have new faces and debate on the state of Delta Force and other FPS games, and of course, I'd love to have you around. But with all of that out of the way, I'll see you in the next video.